Hey guys, welcome back to the WODdoc Project 365, episode 1053. If you guys are following along on YouTube, please jump on over to WODdoc.com. Check out all of our full-length videos. That's where we house them. What we're talking about today is the recent epidemic that we had in pec tears. This is kind of a free roll session. We didn't necessarily put it all together. We've been collectively talking about thoughts as to why we see a lot of these male athletes getting pec tears, right? So here's what we're going to try to talk about. First of all, with these guys, some of them they're just so much more bulk, right? So the standard itself may be more difficult for the guys versus the girls who have more room in the shoulder and elbow. This is what I mean by that. If I come into this position, right, as a male athlete, their arms are much bigger, arms and forearms. So what they do is as they sink down to get their delt to be able to touch, they sometimes need to sacrifice with posterior translation, right? If that happens, we get much more movement through the torso. We get this forward bending, right? And now we turn this almost into more of a chest press than we do this vertical dip as if we were straight down like such, right? So by leaning the torso forward more, we're loading the pec more, especially the inferior fibers of that pec. It almost turns into like this decline bench press, so to speak, right? Secondly, let's just face it, the guys are much more heavy than the females are in ratio. Now you can go ahead and make the argument saying, well, that's all right because that means they have much more muscle, but tendons are still tendons, tensile strength is still tensile strength. So if you supersede that tissue integrity, that's how you're getting these ruptures, right? So let's go through this. Possibly the standard might be tougher for the guys. That range of motion is making them hit end range versus where the ladies in general, since they have a smaller frame, smaller arm length, can possibly just be more shallow in that range of motion, okay? So that's one possibility. Second possibility is the fact that they are quite heavy in comparison to the females, and again, tensile strength is tensile strength. Thirdly, what we see is these people, in general, both guys and girls, what you're doing is you're having them being fatigued because they were just up and overhead, which is a difficult movement to begin with. They get tight throughout the shoulder, lat, and pec, right? And then they're going ahead and they're jumping into this range of motion where they fall all the way down onto an unstable surface. So what we see that happens, especially as they start to fatigue and get tired, is we get this little elbow tweak out, right? As these elbows tweak out, right, you could feel it if you do it just yourself. If I'm into the if I'm into the dip position here and I'm nice and vertical, I have a lot of tricep load. As soon as I allow these elbows to poke out, you could feel that get tight in there, right? So if I'm attempting to do this and I'm telling you how would I save grace, right? I would try to make that try to make that dip much more vertical, right? Although it might be harder, I would try to eliminate the idea of transitioning into this almost decline press where the arms come in front rather than staying out to the side, right? So I'm going to resist that internal rotation. I'm going to fight into external rotation, try to keep my palms towards my body rather than allowing them to internally rotate in, right? If I can do those and not jump into end range, which is very difficult in this sprint type exercise, I have a chance of being able to save grace here. So these are just my thoughts. Welcome to get more thoughts early in the competition. We'll be able to look at some more tape and review some more things that people who might have got hurt, we might be able to save more people from that, okay? So questions, comments, please post them below. And until tomorrow, we're optimizing function to optimize performance.